What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Thoughts and Divine Wisdom. And today, I want to talk to you about the journey. Now, in previous videos, I actually spoke about the journey, and I was telling many that in order to start your journey, you have to look within. You have to look into that proverbial mirror and truly look at who you are as a person. That means all the past experiences that you went through, good and bad, and the experiences that you did throughout the course of your life, all the hurt and everything else and the wrong things that you did from within. You have to look at those things, assess, and make amends with those things and forgive those things. And believe it or not, in order to do that, in some cases it may take years in order to just get through that journey. Even decades, truthfully. Decades. And it doesn't hurt to call some of the people that you hurt, if they're willing to respond, to give your formal apology to them. But these are the initial steps that I was saying in previous videos. But on this journey, there is a secret step that one must take before you even start the journey. What is that? What is that secret? A lot of people don't realize the step, but the first thing that you must do in order to start the journey, before you look at yourself, is you have to realize something. And that realization comes in to the point of truly knowing this secret. This secret is the thing that breaks the mold. Okay? Now that secret, the secret that I'm talking about is, before starting the journey, is you must realize to yourself that this thing called the identity that you live by your whole entire life is a delusion. It's not real. It's not real at all. See, growing up, we were often taught to compete, to be somebody, to create a status for yourself, to make a name for yourself, wherever, however you want to put it. We were often taught to do these things. So it kind of goes like this: such and such been here, they've been there, they met this person, they done this, they got this, all for this identity that we have conjured up, society has given us, is the greatest delusion within itself. Okay? Don't believe me? Think about it. Okay? On your identity, you hang many things. With it, you hang your hate. On your identity, you hang your jealousy. You hang your greed. You hang your wrath. You hang your ego. You hang your pride. You hang all these things on your identity and some. If you break down why, if you talk to a person and you ask them, why are you angry? It's always because of what someone did to them. What's the them? It's the identity. Because he said this to me, or he did this, or she did that, did this. It's all about the identity. That's the reason why you get mad, and that's the reason why you hate, and that's the reason why you get jealous, and that's the reason why you turn to greed, and that's the reason why you do all the things that you do. It's because of the delusion of the identity. That's why. Okay? And until you realize that this thing isn't real, you will continue living your life under this false pretense of the identity. Most people today live by ego. Most people today live by status. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Even the lower, even the people lacking financial success is still burning all their money on the social media to make themselves look like they have what the upper echelon of people have. All just to say, I look at my status. Look at me. When the truth is, you know, none of it's real. Now there's a saying that, I've always heard. Or there's a saying that I actually thought up and because when I speak in divine wisdom, my mind transmutate the understanding of what I know, and it gives certain things. Actually, I've realized, one thing: the greatest weapon that the devil uses isn't deception. I'll repeat it again. The greatest weapon that the devil uses isn't deception. His greatest weapon that he used is giving every single man an identity. The tree of life. That was the greatest weapon he ever used. And with it came what you see today. People shooting and killing, and people downing people because of how they look, and people worrying about themselves, being selfish, and the list goes on and on and on and on. When he gave Adam and Eve the fruit from the tree of life, that was his greatest weapon that he ever had. That was the greatest weapon he used on man. And from it, society has been teaching itself the identity. And along with that identity came all the fruits of the identity, that all the selfish fruits that came with it that I said before: hate, jealousy, envy, greed, wrath, pride, ego, greed. That's where it came from. So I say, before you start your journey, this is the first thing that you must conquer, which is your identity. But in order to conquer the identity, one has to truly look at the identity and look at it for what it is. A guru said something brilliant. A guru said something brilliant once that stuck with me. He said, before your name was James, your name was I. And before your name was I, your name was I am. Deep. And what has happened is people have forgot the trueness of the real self for the delusion that the delusional identity that started with their parents giving them a name and the identity society has taught them. So they have forgotten who they truly are. That's why you don't know all the stuff that you knew when you was on the other side. It's this and this alone that makes you opposed to who you truly are, which is the identity. Understand? So, at the end of the day, this must be conquered first to start the journey on understanding the self. This thing that we're talking about here has to be the first thing that's conquered. Because what is the point of you skipping over this thing right here, the identity, first, understanding it and acknowledging what it is, skipping over it only to understand yourself. At the same time, you still got your identity intact. So even though you fixing things, you still walking around with the delusion. You still walking around with the delusion. So yeah, you may have fixed some things, but you still haven't fixed the true essence of the self first. Now, people would say, okay, well, if we lose the identity, won't we just be walking around like automatons? No, that's not what it is. That's not what I'm saying. When you put down the delusion of the identity, what then happens is you stop living by the statuses. You stop living by chasing fame. You stop living by hate and envy and jealousy and greed and wrath. To where when you walk, yes, you are the person that you've been, but at the same time, you don't hold your standard to those things. And as your foundation turns stronger, you don't care what people say to you. And that's how I live my life. You don't care what people say to you. You can say, people can say things to you, and you'll look at it and be like, okay. that's what you, and because you don't hold yourself off of the identity. Before, you would have been like, oh, how dare you say that to me? What do you do? Who are you talking about? You see? But when you put down the identity and acknowledge it for what it truly is, your life then becomes free. Your life then becomes free, where you don't have to worry about the worldly identity any longer, to where you don't have to worry about the hate and the envy and the jealousy and the greed and the wrath, because you now know who you now are starting to acknowledge who you really are. And all those things are of the world that doesn't mean anything. doesn't mean nothing at all. So when you break free of that identity, you start realizing, like, man, what was all this worth? All this that I've been fighting for, all this that I was doing when I had this thing, it didn't mean nothing. Trying to live and hang with the Joneses, trying to keep up with people, status. Trying to become financially wealthy from the standpoint so people can say, oh man, look how much money they got. Status. Jewelry and high-end clothes. One shirt's $2,000 and your pants is $4,000 and all this stuff, just to walk around for people to say, man, he got Louis Vuitton on. Don't mean nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Because what we're seeing now in the media with China exposing the luxury brands, most of the stuff that we're seeing today only costs a couple of bucks to make. And what the luxury item, or what the people are buying, is actually the name of the brand. That's it. So technically the thing that they spend $5,000 for this purse really costs $20, and the $5,000 come from, oh, this is a luxury brand item, this is a Gucci purse. So you're paying for the name Gucci, not the quality of the product, just to say, look what I got and you don't. Is it worth it? Just to have a status, just to say, look what I can buy and you can't. No, it really doesn't. Because at the end of the day, a purse is a purse. Shoes are just shoes. A car is a car. If you buy a Ferrari compared to a Ford, universally, it's just a car. Now, yeah, this car right here might be faster than this Ferrari, but it's still a car. It's still a car, right? It's still a car. Okay. So, hey, this one's just faster. Okay. That's it. So, at the end of the day, is it really worth it? To put your life out there for this world, or status and image and all these different things that society has taught you, just to say, look at me. Because at the end of the day, when you leave here off of this earth, you can't bring none of that with you. Even though I give the Egyptians A for effort, they sure did try. They sure did try, didn't they? Yes, they did. So, none of this comes with you. So what are you here for? What are you doing all this for? What is your purpose here? What is your purpose? To leave a name? And I think David said something about it. I forgot which verse it is. I know it's in Psalms. He was saying, no, it was Solomon in Ecclesiastes. He was saying, I have all these vineyards, and I have singing women and men, and men and women who play instruments and all this stuff. Only in the end, till when I leave here, it's going to be given to somebody who doesn't care for none of this stuff. That's some wisdom. That's the wisdom. In the end, the people who come after you ain't going to care as much as you did when you had these things. So when you give them, when you move on and you leave the things that you have in your will to them, they're not going to take care of the things that you had the same way you had, the same way you did, the same way you valued them. That's real talk. Now, am I saying, now I'm kind of going into the weeds somewhat because I'm starting to go into talents and crafts and all that. But am I saying that you can't have anything? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you live for the identity, you find yourself doing things just to be seen by other people. When truthfully, you have to, the only person that needs to see you is you, because you can't do anything in this world if you don't see yourself first. You can try to, you can't love somebody if you don't love yourself. You can't help somebody if you're not financially stable for yourself. So all these things right here, all these things start with the self. But when you put down the identity, the structure of everything changes. Once you understand the self and you start to understand who you truly are, and then from there you understand what your heart is passionate about. And then once you understand what your heart is passionate about, you do that thing. And because you're passionate about this thing, only then will the money comes. Today, what people are worrying about is how much money I'm going to get. With no passion. No desire to truly be the best. They just want the money. And see, these are the things that you run into when you have your structure of the self imbalanced. These are the things that you have. These are the things that you run into when you don't have your house in order. And it starts with you knowing you. It starts with you understanding you first. If that makes any sense. Okay? So, like I said and everything, the journey starts with the identity. Once you truly understand what the identity is and put it down, only then can you go to the next phase, which is looking within yourself in that proverbial mirror to understand how you function, how you work, your choices you made throughout the course of your life. Now, I'm not saying you're going to remember everything, but try to remember. But as you go on this journey, the Spirit will show you the things that you need to see. And when you see them, acknowledge them. Acknowledge them. Sit with them and truly acknowledge them. Make amends with them. Or forgive them. But don't just try to do a glazed over. Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. Oh yeah, I remember that too. I'm sorry about that too. Okay, I'm sorry. No. The Spirit, you can't lie to the Spirit. The Spirit know you better than you. You know yourself. You can't lie to yourself, and you can't lie to the Divine Spirit. You're going to have to sit there and truly acknowledge who you are and the choices you made and the choices you've done. This is where true judgment comes in at. This is true judgment. And some things is going to be joyful, and some things is definitely going to hurt your soul. Like, man, I can't believe I did that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for doing that. It's going to be hurtful. But once you acknowledge it and make amends with it, and you forget or forgive it, and you let it go, then it's gone. Now, sometimes some little things will come back just to see how strong you are. Just to see, okay, you remember when you did this? I'm like, yeah, and you kind of go down memory lane like, yeah, man, I apologize for that. So it all plays in certain ways with each individual. But one thing is for sure, you can't lie to you. If you thinking you're gonna lie to yourself, if you think you're gonna lie to the divine spirit, if you thinking that you just gonna glaze over something you did, if you think you're gonna just hurry up and excuse yourself for the thing that you did, like marginalize the thing that you did. Oh yeah, I did that. Okay, I apologize. No, the spirit ain't gonna accept it because he know your heart better than you, and he know, nah, that's not. I don't accept that. So for each thing, you're gonna have to sit down and accept what the course of actions was, acknowledge it, make amends with it, and forgive it. And like I said, it doesn't hurt to go to certain people that you still are in contact with and go and apologize. That's if you can. Because it all depends on the hurt. Man, I know I did bad with them. Let me go and apologize. So you're going to have to make that, so sometimes you got to take that ultimate step, which is going to apologize to them. For me, I've done that a few times before already on my journey. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, dude.
All right. Appreciate it. Okay. Hold on, guys. Hold on. My load's finished being unloaded. Give me a second. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. But I'm driving my truck and loads being unloaded. But this is what it's all about. You're going to have to truly do this. And no, it's not going to take a day. No, it's not going to take a week. No, it's not going to take a month. It's going to take years. I'm 47. It took most of my life. It took most of my life to get through this journey of self-reflection. Now, I'm not saying it's going to take you that long to get through your self-reflection. Some people, it will have to take that long based on where they're at in their lives and what they got to look at and what they got to do and all that stuff like that. Some, it'll take shorter. Am I saying it's going to take decades to some? No. Some people will go through their journey within the course of, it could be 3-4 years. Some people could take decades. It all depends on what they're willing to look at and accept and acknowledge and go through. Only then can they move forward. Once you move forward, then the journey of the fruits of the spirit comes to fruition. It comes to the forefront. And that, my friend, I guess will be the next video, the fruits of the spirit. I guess I can say something now, but the fruits of the spirit in general is the thing that your heart have desired throughout this course of your journey. Only then can you, once you look at yourself, once you tackle the identity and look at yourself, only then can you focus on the fruits of the spirit. And when you do that, it just means that you got to look within to see what's valuable. But I'll leave it right there and, maybe do a video some other time on that. But, yeah, the initial step is tackling the identity first. And that's what people don't realize. That's what people don't see. That's what people don't acknowledge. People skip over that, trying to fulfill the journey of understanding the self with the identity intact still. And this is how you get people that's, that's how you get people along the way on your understanding. As your knowledge turns into knowledge knowledge is born. I guess that's how you want to say it. As your knowledge is born, and you become wiser, and have more understanding, and have all those different things, because they got their identity still intact. Along the way, you're going to run into what? The haters. Why they still got that? Why? Because they haven't let go of their identity. Who's this guy? He think he all that. Oh, this. Along your journey, because they haven't understood this valuable lesson of the identity itself. And that's how you're gonna run. That's how, as you grow, you're gonna see the haters. All you do is you look and say, they still got their identity. That's why they hate. People hate on things they don't understand, or people demonize things they don't understand. That's why. Because they can't do it, they're gonna hate on it. And where does that hate come from? All from the identity. So I'm gonna leave this video right here and everything. Like I've always said and everything, if you have any questions, if you would like to tell a problem, because that's what I would really like to do, tell a problem, you can email me at thoughts and spelled out divinewisdom@gmail.com. Hit me up. I check it every day to see if anybody is, if anything's stuck, or if anybody would like to say something or anything. So hit me up at thoughtsanddivinewisdom@gmail.com, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Until then, you guys stay blessed and continue on your journey. Okay? Stay blessed. Talk to you later. Bye.